Hey everyone, I'm Rod and Todd, a professional YouTuber who makes professional videos. And it's Tuesday, which means it's time for another Transformers review. This is WFC-S31 and WFC-E2 Smashdown. He was released in the Battlemaster size class as part of Wave 3 of the War for Cybertron Siege toy line, and was re-released as part of the Battlemaster size class in the first wave of the War for Cybertron Earthrise toy line. Something the War for Cybertron trilogy is fond of doing is reissuing figures that are kind of harder to find, and let me tell you, Smashdown is one of them. This is the one I have here is specifically the Earthrise release. However, I will be reviewing it as a part of Siege because that's where it was first released. But since the Siege version and Earthrise version are the exact same apart from packaging, it really doesn't matter. So as always, we'll start with the alternate mode. As with every Battlemaster, Smashdown's alternate mode is a weapon that can be wielded by any larger Transformers figure. In this case, Smashdown is a mighty hammer. It's this big red mallet, and it's just a big red mallet. It's a pretty good looking hammer. It's pretty big too compared to the length of the handle. It's a really short handle compared to how big this hammer is. And of course it can be wielded by any Transformers figure, pretty much. Not everyone, but pretty much anyone. And so that's pretty much its primary purpose. Things pretty much useless on its own. And so the back of the card on the Siege release shows him being paired up with Springer. The Earthrise card doesn't show him being paired up with anyone, so I'll only be showing him off with Springer here. And so this is actually the way I primarily display my Smashdown. It's paired up with Springer because the official bio for the figure says that he's a member of the Wreckers, and since Springer is also a member of the Wreckers, I thought it just made sense to kind of pair the two up. And, of course, as with every Battlemaster figure, Smashdown comes with an effect piece. Just like with Tyraxodon, it's a big explosion piece here, which is supposed to be like the action lines of the hammer coming down. And so it just kind of attaches to the front of the hammer like that. It doesn't matter which way you display it. As with Tyraxodon, there's attachment points on either side of the hammer. So you can display it in either hand of the figure and it'll work. And so it looks like he's bringing the hammer down. And just like with Tyraxodon, the explosion piece has a hole on the other side, so you can kind of attach it to one of the little pegs on your Siege figures to make it look like they're getting hit with something if you just have the standalone effect piece. Or you can leave the hammer on and make it look like someone chucked a hammer at him. Or if you put another figure here, it can make it look like he's hitting him with a hammer. I don't know. I've noticed this effect piece is has a significantly looser connection here as compared to Tyraxodon. I don't know if that's just the thing the Earthrise release has, because I don't have the Siege version. This is the Earthrise version. So if the Siege version doesn't have that problem, let me know. So you just kind of pop that off, and yeah. Of note is that most effect pieces in this line attach to the Battlemasters by use of the little standard pegs. However, this one just has a full-on 5mm hole, which you just kind of pop it in there, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think that means you should be able to attach guns in it. I just got Springer's gun here. Wow, look at that. You can do that. You can make it a hammer with a laser cannon on the end. And just like with Tyraxodon, the hammer, the end of the hammer handle has a little attachment point for the effects. So you can put it there. It's a lot tighter on here than it is on just a normal peg on a Siege figure. Of course, unlike Tyraxodon, there's no way to wield this as a gun. So I don't really know what purpose it has. I think it has more of a purpose in robot mode, which we'll see here in a bit. But in hammer mode, that little peg on the end really doesn't do much. And so that's Smashdown's hammer mode. And so this figure, being a Battle Master, he came on a card. And so I don't have the packaging to show you, so we'll just move on to the robot. So here is Smashdown in his robot mode. He's another one of the Battle Masters that takes on some sort of animal-like look. There was Lionizer, who had the lion mode, and then Taraxodon, who had the pterodactyl mode. However, this one is a lot better in my opinion, because it's a bipedal robot mode, and it has actual articulation. So, Smashdown's articulation, he has a ball joint at the head, so he can look up and down, and left and right. Ball joints at the shoulders, so he can move his arm out, and all the way around. Ball joints at the hips, so he can move his legs out, forward, and back. And if this counts, I guess you could say this is like an ab crunch. It's like a lot of Battle Master figures have. I don't really count that as a point of articulation. And so that's Smashdown's articulation. It's still a pretty basic figure, but for Battle Master, it's for one that has head articulation, which is cool. And this is kind of supposed to be like a Minotaur thing. As you can see, it's got like a bull's head, it's got big blue horns, some blue eyes. It's got some really big legs, like some big thick legs, and some chunky arms. So for a little guy, he looks like he packs a punch for sure. And turning him around to the side, as you can see, the handle for the axe mode just kind of sticks out of his back like it's a tail. There's, look at him from the back. And as with some of the other Battle Masters, who have detachable pieces that kind of turn the weapons, this can detach. Just kind of pops out like that. However, you don't need to remove it for the transformation. And it should be able to fit in his arm as a weapon. However, this is kind of has varying success. Let's see if I can... I could have sworn I read somewhere you can do this. Okay, so here you go. This is the best I got. I don't know if this is how it's supposed to be, but I've heard you can do this, and so here it is. And so you can give Smashdown this little arm cannon thing. Kind of juts out at a weird angle, but it's best I can do. And that's why I said that the little peg on the end of the handle serves a better purpose in robot mode, and that's what that is. You can attach effect pieces to it, including the big explosion. Of course, it makes him extremely top heavy, so it doesn't stand up too well. However, due to it being so big, it's not really that noticeable when he falls over. And so you can do that if you really want. Of course, as with all my Battle Masters, I display them in weapon mode. However, if you want to display your Smashdown in robot mode, there you go. You can have them armed. Or you can just say screw the little gun and just have him be a melee fighter, because it totally looks like he could throw a killer punch with these arms. Or just like charge at Decepticons with those horns. And so that's my review of Smashdown, the first one of the reissue figures. There's another one in Siege coming up. Astro Train was also reissued as well, and then there will be more reissues going forward from Earthrise into Kingdom, but we'll save those guys for later. So that was my review of Smashdown. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe and all that. I mean, you don't have to, but it would be nice. And tune in next week as we review the first of our Wave 3 Deluxes, in fact the only of our Wave 3 Deluxes, with Autobot Red Alert. This has been Rod and Todd signing off.